Caves and Gorge maintains Cheddar Gorge, and we share its management with the National Trust. It's a very important climbing venue and a very popular one. Until recently, a lot of the climbs have not been safe to climb because gorges require a lot of maintenance. Our team under Martin Crocker and Nigel Elliott have worked very hard over the last few years, and we've spent a lot of money in order to bring Cheddar Gorge back into its true role as one of the most important climbing venues in Britain. So we've restored over 300 climbs, we have sports climbs and traditional climbs. The work still goes on, and this is the second year we've had a free climbing festival, which we call Crag Attack, to celebrate the climbing and you know, bring world-class climbers here to Cheddar. Plenty of trad routes, plenty of sport routes, new ones being developed all the time. I'm told that this particular situation is unique in England. There are just a lot of very good climbing routes by a main road, and you arrive and climb. There are restrictions, and some routes are closed for maintenance work. The gorge is closed to climbing during the school holidays because the car parks get very busy. But generally speaking, if you've got third-party insurance through the BMC, you just turn up, park and climb, and that's a unique facility and one which is very much appreciated by local climbers. A lot of work goes into it, obviously, and we need to make sure the regime is properly followed, and you know, festivals like Crag Attack are our way of welcoming the climbing community and making sure everyone is reading from the same script as far as the climbing regime goes. It also enables us to thank our partners, the National Trust, who share the management of the gorge with us, the various people who sponsored Crag Attack, and the British Mountaineering Council itself, and also local residents who are welcome to turn up and see the best climbers in the world having fun on our local cliffs. As landowners, we have responsibilities to the public, and we have the obligation to manage the climbing in a way which is consistent with everyone else's needs and legal rights. It's a bit of a balancing act legally. Martin Crocker, our steward, who also works with the BMC, has done a lot of work in getting the local climbing community on board, and there's an increasing amount of interest in all sorts of extreme sports and climbing and slacklining, and yesterday and today there have been a lot of local people turning up just to have a look and see how it's done, and you know, no doubt a lot of the youngsters will be thinking of taking up climbing for the first time as a result of that. Cheddar Gorge has iconic significance, not only to climbers but to the general public. In 1959 there was a tightrope walk across Cheddar Gorge, and that was that's still the definitive sporting event in Cheddar history. So we'd like to make a little bit of history ourselves and make sure that even that event pales into insignificance. Everything that happens in Cheddar Gorge, you're pushing human endurance or human experience to the limits, really. And the same goes for the gorge itself. It's the biggest gorge in Britain. It's got the most spectacular show caves. I mean, if we were just running Cheddar Gorge as a tourist resort, pure and simple, it would be a liability, because I mean, climbers come here and don't give us any money. And if you like, sort of climbers are taking up space that tourists ought to be taking up space. In fact, Cheddar Gorge is it's a slice of England. It's a very special place. We like to think there's plenty of room for everyone, and all sorts of interesting things are taking place here every day. So it's we regard it as one of our jobs to make room for all the different leisure activities that are possible in this very extraordinary venue. Local climbing communities are cohesive. Every local climber knows every other local climber. So I mean, all organised events for the community are a very good thing. Ordinarily, no one else is in a position to organise it. Really, I mean, you've got to have control of a venue to organise a climbing event. So you know, we like to, you know, as long as the climbing community stands by us, we like to stand by them.